What's up, YouTube? This morning we're in Arboristbutiken and we're packing orders. We actually push out around 300 orders per month here, so it's quite the large operation to get all of this stuff out. Like we talked about in the last vlog, Arboristbutiken is the company that I run, that I spend most of my time doing actually, probably. And it's actually not my company, but I do run it due to various reasons that I discussed before. And one of these things that happens when you're involved in multiple companies is that your structure, or how you structure this legally from a tax perspective, etc., becomes quite complicated. And for example, if you want to take salary from one, you want to take profit from one, you got to pay VAT for all of them, and you have ownership that stretches in between. It becomes quite difficult to manage. For instance, now we're gonna head over to the office after I pack this order, and we're gonna be doing a lunch meeting with one of the accelerators or incubators of, I think it's India this time, which is one of the larger ones, and talk about how we can implement Venture Pals for them, which is the other app that I'm running. So let's head over there. Okay, we're about to hop in a meeting with IncuWise, which is one of India's largest incubators. I'm running a little bit late. It started 1 minute ago, so let's hop on and see what we can get with Venture Pals here. It would be great to get them on board. Won't really be recording this full one for transparent or for secrecy purposes. So this is a little bit of an overview of the product. Now I'm matched with Joel just for these demo purposes, and this is kind of like the skeleton of the product. So if we take a look here, we get to the overview dashboard, which is essentially a social accountability task manager. So you have all of your weekly tasks. For example, I may have a meeting of some kind. I have subtasks attached to that particular task, so I can complete that and I can see the total progress of the task. I can also leave comments on it. So it's a standard task tracker. Where it differentiates though is the social part of it, because now I have a pal that is Joel, and you can see this by his picture here. So I can see all of his tasks this week, and he on his end can similarly see all of my tasks this week. So if we take a look at one of his tasks, for example, update website to extended version, and I commented looking forward to this, and he answered me. So I can keep track of all of the things he has to do, and he has to keep track of all the things I have to do. When I then complete the task, this will then show up in my progress circle, kind of similar to how you close your fitness level on an Apple Watch, for instance. But I'm able to see all of his stuff, and he's able to see all of my stuff, and that's that social accountability part where he sees that I'm doing work, I see that he's doing work, we both motivate each other to continue going. Then we get to a little bit of a task overview, which is then just similar to the rest of the front page, but you can filter on tasks within a custom range, for instance. But then we get to more of the social part, where I'm now sharing internet from my phone, which is why this is a little bit slow. But for example, because my Wi-Fi here in the store actually broke down this morning, so I'm on 3G. But if we take a look at, for example, the swiping part, which is similar to any dating app really, where you can view other people's profiles. So for example, you can like, you can dislike them, and you can see basic information about themselves, a tagline, some information about them, the current goal that they have, as well as their LinkedIn and where they're from. And similar to any dating app, you can swipe left or right, and if you both swipe right on each other, you end up with a match. And if you end up with a match, that's when you end up in each other's list of contacts, and that's where you can send people requests to be Venture Pals. So for example, this is someone I've matched with. If I didn't have a Venture Pal already, I could go in and send requests to be pals with this particular person. Then we get to the monetization part, and currently that's twofold. So one of them is that we have this in-product subscription, which is where you can subscribe through Google Play, Apple Play, and you get premium features, which right now we're working to change to a contributor plan, which is a very low threshold type of plan that will enable people to subscribe to it and get access to the app, and it will show other users that you're serious in having subscribed to that app. But what's more relevant for this meeting is this feature that we have called organization code. And what you do there is that you can enter a validated organization code. So now I have a made-up organization called the Venture Pals 2024. We can press only view people within that organization, And what happens then is that this essentially becomes a closed community. So now we can see it's filtering all the profiles based on people who are within this organization, and this is just a demo or a sample, so it's just me in there right now. That's why I can't see any more profiles. But what this does is, and where we've had interest from other incubators, is that this essentially becomes a closed community where you only match with people who are within your startup community, and then you can become venture pals with these people to keep each other accountable and make sure your tasks get done. Great. Likewise. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Bye. Bye. All right. Okay, that is that meeting done. Quite an interesting incubator from India, and something I've come to notice is all of these people ask about company structure. How is your company structured? Where is your legal entity? Who's the co-founder? Who's the founder? Who's the majority owner? So I thought I'd take a minute to explain how it looks now and what I'm planning to do with my entities. I will show you what my company structure looks like currently. So right now there's me as an individual. We'll call me Herman because that happens to be my name. I have one main company which is called Nordic Social Media AB. AB is the Swedish version of Inc., GmbH, LTD, all of those types of other shortenings that you see in other countries. Like so. Nordic Social Media was my first company that I started, and it's the one that I invoice most things from. So currently, what it looks like is that Nordic Social Media owns parts of Venture Pals BV, which is a Dutch entity. So my Swedish company owns a certain amount of the shares in the Dutch company that is Venture Pals BV. Then also, Nordic Social Media owns shares in another company called Arboristbutiken. Arboristbutiken Technologies AB. If you can see that Arboristbutiken Technologies AB is where I do all of the applications. So, for example, Arborist is always the app called Arboristbutiken, and also it is where the palm new rope bag. Where that is handled from. So the Palmy Rope Bag is an entirely separate brand, or it's just a brand, not a company in of itself. It's a trademark that belongs to Arboristbutiken Technologies. But also in Arboristbutiken Technologies, there is a rev share, or will be, with a company called Arborist, which is another arborist planning app, which will be integrating with Arborist. And then in Nordic Social Media, this is where I do all of my bureau work. So as you can see, Nordic Social Media now, I also have another company which is Arboristbutiken, which is where we're in right now, which is a separate entity where I am involved both as an individual and as a company, so we'll call that Arboristbutiken, which is just a separate entity in of itself. So as you can see, it's all very centered around Nordic Social Media, and it's also very round in a way. It's not very tax optimized, it's not very transaction optimized, so I'm looking to change this. And I'm gonna be changing this to more of a holding structure layout, just because there are a couple of benefits with a holding company. So one of the main benefits is just simplicity. So right now I have a lot of different transactions on Nordic Social Media. I have profit sharing from all of the companies that are under Nordic Social Media. I have invoicing that I do for my app bureau. Sometimes I have payments to myself as like dividends or salary, and I have to manage this with all of the day-to-day transactions. So I'm managing kind of like a company, but also a holding company in one. But we're gonna be changing Nordic Social Media, so that's gonna become Palm Tree Holdings. AB. So essentially this is gonna be exact same as Nordic Social Media, but I'm just gonna change the purpose and the name. It's gonna remain the same company. And Palm Tree Holdings is then gonna own a couple of companies. So first of all is a new one that I'm gonna start, that is gonna be called App AB, which is where I'm gonna be doing all of my bureau work. So everything that I invoice from Nordic social media, that is right now social media, that is website building, that is app building. That's all gonna be done from AppPalm AB. And maybe from here we have some rev share agreements with some other companies that we may be working with. So, for example, the platform that I'm building in the US, if that, depending on what that deal looks like when it's done, if it's just a one-off agency type of fee and then it's done, or if that becomes like a revenue or an equity type of deal, we'll handle that through that bureau to begin with. And once it becomes ownership, then we'll move that ownership up into the holding company. So Palm Tree Holdings will also own a share in Arbster. So Arbster will essentially remain exactly the same as it is right now, but with the key difference being that we're going to maintain the partnership with Arborist. Whether that's probably going to be a rev share agreement. If not, that's going to become a separate entity under Arbster Technologies, and so is PalmU, or however you want to call it, PalmU Bags. That's going to become a separate company. And then in addition to this, we're going to be managing all of the relationships with Arboristbutiken. We're going to be managing through the holding company. So that remains pretty much the same. That's going to be, if that's salary, if that's dividends, whatever that may be. And then we're going to be adding another branch, which is going to be Venture Pals. And this is what we're gonna be changing. So we're gonna be changing Venture Pals a little bit, because right now it's Venture Pals BV, which is the Dutch equivalent. But we're gonna do a Venture Pals Holding AB, like so. Which is gonna be, I'm gonna own 100% of that company, or my holding company is gonna own 100% of that company, and then Venture Pals Holding AB is gonna own a part of Venture Pals BV, which is the Dutch entity of it. So as you can see, this structures it quite a lot differently. So first of all, we're starting essentially 3 new companies. We're starting AppPalm, we're starting PalmU, and we're starting Venture Pals Holding. The plan is probably going to be that PalmU is going to come first, and then AppPalm is going to come later in the year, and so is Venture Pals Holding AB is also going to come later in the year. But this is what we're working towards, and we're already going to rename it to Palm Tree Holdings just because it's fun. My surname is Palmgren, you're going to have some fun, you know, life's a game to some degree, so that's why it's going to be called that. Yeah, AppPalm or AppPalm, I haven't decided how to pronounce it yet. It's quite new. AppPalm and PalmU are going to be new entities, and so is the Venture Pals BV gonna be. Venture Pals Holding AB is going to be the new entity. The benefit of this structure is that it all flows into Palm Tree Holding AB. So if I want to pay myself from any of these ventures, I can pay myself through Palm Tree Holding. And it's also become so much easier with capital management. So if I want to take out a certain amount of money at any given time, I can do that to that one, instead of having to report income from various different employers. In that case, I can just handle it through one company. Another benefit of it is also that I'm gonna be able to spread the risk a little bit more. So for example, for the PalmU rope bag over here, say that the fan box that I'm developing, and we'll dive into that in another video, but for the fan box that I'm developing, maybe it explodes and someone's car just goes to shambles, their Nissan Micra or whatever just burns up. Say that I'm involved in a lawsuit there, for example. With this structure, that only affects this company. I can limit bankruptcy, I can limit lawsuits, problems, whatever, to that particular entity, and not having to, as it is right now, absorb that in Arbster Technology. Same with one of the apps, for example. I can handle that as a separate entity. I can handle that as a separate entity. If there are any issues, it becomes so much easier to deal with. But then there are also some tax benefits. So say for example that AppPalm were to make a profit of $100,000 in 1 year. That's the profit. I can charge management fees from Palm Tree Holding AB of, say for example, $50,000 to reduce my total tax burden from AppPalm or AppPalm or whatever it's going to be called. So the profit is only $50,000, and then Palm Tree Holdings, I can take that profit that I make from the management fees and cut that out from potential costs that I may have in that entity, limiting my total tax burden. So it's a little bit of one, structure decision, tax decision, and then also safety decision. So those that's what we're going to be working towards right now. So you can see it's quite more structured, and also going to be a lot better. And if you can structure your companies in this type of way, where you have a kind of hierarchical holding structure, with one company being at the top and then owning parts of other companies or full companies, that's going to be a great decision for you. Because then, say you do make a lot of money here in your holding company, that's going to be easy to then branch off and invest in other potential companies elsewhere. You know, you can have 10% of a company here or 10% of a company here. That just makes it so much easier to manage all of those transactions. Now I'm getting a call. It just makes it so much easier to manage all of those transactions and all that risk. So if you can, make sure to structure your company like that. Now we're gonna head to a fun part of the day, which is cleanup. Let me show you why. And the reason why cleaning is now fun is because of this bad boy right here. What this is an automatic vacuum where it just drives itself. And this is where you can tell the future is indeed now. So to use it, all you do is you go to this app, you press enter, and then we're able to see the whole of the store that it's created a map of. And we can take rooms, or we can take full, and we can go mop and vacuum, for example, and we'll do a quick one. And if we then go press start, like so. Oh yeah, I made it Spanish because I'm a jokester like that. Now it's gonna drive around and it's gonna vacuum the floor. I used to spend like $500 a month on cleaning. That one cost $500, so in 1 month we make that back. And now here we go, look at this. He's off. Ah! Yeah, mostly it's just a lot of fun, but it also does a great job. It's a Roborock Roomba or something like that. So yeah, now cue to a quick montage of this little bad boy cleaning. Back home, and goddamn, I look like a douchebag. Gym sesh, went shopping. We're now here with my good friend Misho, who's cooking the meat today.
Yes, sir.
What are we eating?
Flat iron steak and some
sausages. We're living good. We're living good.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, so probably not going to be that much work the rest of the evening. We got some happy dad. No, not happy dads. Red stripes are the things we drink here. But yeah, just gonna get that done, and then we'll see where we're at tonight. If we manage to get some calling done, or if we just go snooze, we see. Alright, so we're coming to the end of the day. We've been eating good, we've been grilling good. Look at this bad boy, he's still walking. It is what it is. But I'm not gonna vlog anymore today. We did spend quite some time talking about the company structures and all that kind of jazz, so we're gonna leave that as is. But if you like this type of content, then feel free to subscribe. Feel free to subscribe down below. I've had a red stripe or two, it is what it is. And leave a like and a comment what you want to see in the future, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!
And an outro.